What's up guys, it's Manga Time once again. I'm going to try to redo this because of the sound. Hopefully it's going to work, but honestly I have no idea what's wrong with it. Anyway, it's Manga Time once again. I'm here today to bring you my review of Bleach 577 Sword. And as we expected, the entire chapter is just about Kenpachi's Shikai, Nozarashi, which is fine. There does feel like there's quite a bit of wasted space, but for the most part it's fine. Anyway, it starts off rather predictably with a bunch of reaction shots. We get to see Basby, which is pretty cool. We haven't seen him since Kangdu was defeated. And he's like, he's looking at the meteor and he's like, hey, this isn't funny, Gremmy, what did you do? There's a pretty cool panel of him just like standing there, watching as the meteor is coming down. That's awesome. It does make me wonder what the hell he's been doing, though, since Kangdu got beaten, because he doesn't seem to be doing any... Well, this is kind of the thing. He doesn't seem to be doing anything. No one seems to be doing anything. Like, Pepe's just sitting there, the soldat is just sitting there. No, Renji's there. Like, I thought Nanana was supposed to be following him, but, apparently not. Anyway, it's kind of cool. Like, it's cool seeing Pepe again. And, like, the soldat are interesting, because they haven't been seen since, like, 511, when Yamamoto died. I figured they were going to have some kind of, like, epic introduction, like they did in 511. But no, they're just standing there. And also, it's kind of weird that, I suppose that's not weird, because we are in Vandenreich, and that is their home. So they're bound to just be there. But yeah, I mean, Kubo hasn't shown them at all yet, so I kind of figured they'd have a bigger intro than that, but apparently not. But basically, yeah, the Missy Askin, he's like, people like that should have been handled differently, because he's gone mad. What I think he's talking about there, I'm pretty sure he's talking about the whole locking Gremmy up thing. But anyway, like the Shinigami are like, the Shakon Maku will protect us. All objects from the outside will protect us. But the meteor breaks through. It's apparently too big to be stopped. Now this is interesting because I'm pretty sure isn't the reason like Ichigo's cannonball back in the Soul Society arc, the whole reason that could break through is because it was like going at such a force and because it was so solid. Isn't that exactly the same as the meteor? So I don't really know. But anyway, this meteor, like you see how big it is on top of the Shakon Maku. It's huge. It's like swamping the entire thing. So it starts coming through, and predictably everyone's flipping out. The really great panel. I actually love this panel because of the symbolism. There's not a whole. It's just Shinigami running away, and the soldat are right behind them, also running away. I just think that's great. That's like the two forces just stop fighting to try and run away. I really like that. I think it's a great panel. Then we see Hashwolf looking on from the battlements, and he tells a couple of soldats to protect Yuharvark. How, I have absolutely no idea. These couple of soldats, like, how the hell are we going to do this? But Yuharvark's not bothered. He's looking on. He's standing on his battlements, like, yeah, bring it on. He's such a boss. I've seen a lot of people actually saying this is Hashwolf. It's not, for a couple of reasons. One, it just wouldn't make sense panel-wise. Hashwolf wouldn't be like, protect His Majesty, and then like suddenly ominously looking outwards. No, that's not. Two, this person clearly has black hair, because it's all black at the back. It's all black at the back where there's no light, and the only reason it's light around the sides is because that's the light of the meteor. And also you can see a slight bit of the black cape on the bottom, but then if you go on the next page you can basically see that the entirety of the cape is black. So I'm pretty certain that is Yuharvark, and also Hashwolf had Yuharvark's door next to him. Now there's nothing there, it's just a wall, so that's clearly Yuharvark's chambers. So it's definitely Yuharvark. Anyway, we then cut back over to Gremmy, and he's like, for example, just for example, not an imagination, a hypothesis, which I like that's funny. He's desperately trying not to kill himself. He's like, if you were able to kill me right away, it'd still be useless, the meteor is already reality, it won't disappear. And obviously there's still two of him. Now this raises some interesting questions. One, last chapter Gremmy said that he made himself indestructible, but that little bit there, despite the fact that it's just a hypothesis, seems to imply that he can be killed. And 2, he says that, you know, even if he dies, his imaginations will still be active, which is weird because you think dying would be the ultimate loss of concentration. So does that mean Kensei and Rose are dead? But then what happened with the whole Yachiru thing? So that's weird. Then he says, you know, only I will survive. Like I imagine, there's nothing you can do. Awesome panel of him when he says that. And he's like Kenpachi Zaraki. Then we get this crazy face of Kenpachi. And you know, he's like, nothing I can do yet. Now you're the one who can't do anything. And he basically leaps up, swings his sword, and we get a series of just huge panels. Like, there's 2 double-page spreads and like 2 one-page spreads. And the release kind is Swallow. I think on Manga Stream it's Drink, but Manga Stream's like broken at the moment. Yeah, you really see how tiny Kenpachi is in comparison to this meteor. And he swings his sword. He says Nozarashi, and then we also see Yachiru looking up at him. I can just imagine this in the anime, like Kenpachi just flying off this huge meteor. Yachiru thinks back to when they like first met, and she was like touching the sword and getting the blood in her hands, and he was saying like, "Where'd you come from? What's your name? Aren't you afraid?" It's a flashback we have seen before, which is weird. Kubo doesn't generally do that, and I get the symbolism. Like, I get the fact that this is the bit when they're like, "What's your name? You don't have one, neither do I," because neither does Nozarashi either at this point. And you know, it's symbolic that now all 3 of them have names. Because Kenpachi says, you know, neither do I, and you see the massive slash. But at the same time, I would like to have seen new material, or at least redraw it. But you know, whatever. It's not that. It's no big deal. It only takes up a page. Anyway, yeah, Kenpachi swings it. The art is incredible as well. Like these pictures, basically the meteor just explodes, and it rains like hellfire down on them. And you know, Gremmy's like, and you just know that there's something awesome on the next page. And there it is, Nozarashi. It looks cool. It's basically Ichigo's original Zangetsu, but massive, and it has like a cap on the top of it with a huge tassel. The hilt is colossal. It has no guard like Ichigo's. It really resembles Ichigo's sword. But it looks really cool. It obviously does resemble Zaraki's a bit in the style of the hilt and the jagged edge blade. The tassel at top is cool. A lot of people have said that is like resembling Ikaku's a bit. If it's red, yeah, certainly it is, but I don't think it is red. I think it's probably white, because red, even red would still have a slight darker colour. But it just looks awesome, with the way the meteor fire is raining down around him. He's just got Nozarashi on his shoulder. Looks great. That, and of course, raises a question, though. I thought Kenpachi was supposed to be a constant release Shikai. Now, there's 2 real possible answers to this. Either 1, he never was, and like that was a mistake on Kubo's part, or 2, it's a bit like Yumichika's Fuji Kajaku, where obviously he wasn't saying it properly, they didn't have proper harmony, so therefore it wasn't a true form. Exactly the same as Ichigo. Didn't have proper harmony with his Zanpakuto, now he has his true form. But does that also mean that Ichigo is going to have a release command? Because when Kenpachi said swallow, I was like, wait a minute, how on earth does Kenpachi have a release command? So yeah. Does Ichigo have a release command now? It's possible, and if it is, it's bound to be Pierce the Heavens. But no, yeah, that's pretty much it for the chapter, really. There's not a lot going on. It's basically all dedicated to Kenpachi and just the blade, the big reveal. You could say some of the panels were wasted. You could say that. I probably would say that. But for the most part, it's pretty damn good. The blade is cool. Because honestly, I went into this having absolutely no idea what to expect. Like, I don't know. At this rate, I'm not sure this blade is going to have any special abilities. I think it's just going to be super powerful melee combat, because that would fit Kenpachi. But that's it for this week, guys. Let me know in the comments below, do you like Nozarashi? And what do you think of the sword? And as always, subscribe and give it a thumbs up. See ya.